Thank you for joining me. Welcome to another political podcast. With me here, I have Pastor Matthew, a very renowned. Thank you, Pastor Matthew.
Thank you for having me.
So, there's this very big question people are afraid to ask. Pastor, do you sincerely think Peter Obi will be on the ballot by 2027?
To be quite honest with you, as a political pundit, I can extrapolate that if Obi is not circumspect enough, that he may not be on the ballot for the purpose of this coming 2027 presidential election. The reason is not far-fetched. We just saw a judgment that came from the court recently, apart from the other two cases in court, where the court is in barring INEC for recognizing ADC congresses. Remember that before now, the woman-led ESCO appointed critical committee at the state level. And we have seen some members of ADC who have gone to court, and court have reversed the situation, saying that those state ESCO, that their tenure is still subsisting as such, that anything done to bring in critical committee is not and void. And even as we speak, there's another case challenging the INEC, where some persons have gone to court to ask the court to deregister ADC. And the contention is that ADC did not secure up to 25% in any of the states in the last election of 2023 presidential election. And as such, they're asking the court to compel INEC to deregister ADC. So looking at this plethora of litigation cases plaguing ADC and the leadership of ADC, I want to say that if Obi is not careful, he may not be on the ballot. We saw Senator Marafa from Zamfara State, who defected to ADC recently. He just left ADC for the NDC. And the reason is not far-fetched. He said after consultation with his lawyers that they have told him that the best option is to leave ADC because, because as it stands, there's no time. There's no time because if you look at ADC currently and the timetable of the election and the guideline of INEC, you agree with me that Obi and Co may be trapped in ADC. I will tell you why. Let us look at the law, talking about the Electoral Act. The Electoral Act section 74 says that the political parties must submit their digital register to INEC 21 days to their primary. As at the time they are notifying INEC of their primary, they should submit their digital register to INEC. And when INEC will come out with their guideline stipulates that the timetable for primary primary election start on the 23rd of this month, and it ends on the 30th of May. What that means is anytime from 1st of May, and from 1st of May to the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th day of May, any party that have not submitted their digital register to INEC would not be contesting the election.
I think the deadline is May 10th.
May 30th is the final date when political parties will be done with everything that has to do with primary.
So what you're telling us is the ADC now more or less have less than 7 days
to do whatever they can do. Not even ADC. Stakeholders in ADC like P2B, Kwankwanso, Atiku, Malami, Babachilawa, El-Rufai, if they want any of them to be on the ballot, they must as quickly as possible look at that political platform.
But we earlier this morning I was listening to Ruben Abati, on Arise News, and he said the Supreme Court has every right to restrain judgment constitutionally for 3 months. I mean, looking at this conundrum, is it safe to say that both Atiku and ADC might not, Atiku and Obi might not have a representation in that election? And also, I saw Kwankwaso meeting the NDC deputy chairman, and I know that there's a ticket. So many Nigerians today have been propagating. They call it the OK movement, which is Obi Kwankwaso movement. So is it that Obi will jump ship, dump Atiku in ADC and go to NDC? Will that not make Obi lose the trust of the North? Because the Northerners on one end are telling Obi that we will all die here in ADC. You cannot be a part of ADC because of this little challenge. You want to now jump ship, leave Atiku. I mean, it's more or less like an easy road or easy win. Tinubu is a lucky man.
I will tell you that it's not just about lucky, it's about somebody orchestrating the crisis behind the scene. But beyond that, it is not about what the North is saying, it's about what is the current position of the law.
Okay?
Because, like I was trying to explain, if God is not taking Obi, Atiku, Kwankwanso, El-Rufai, Babachi Lawa, Rotimi Amechi will be trapped in ADC. For purpose of emphasis, all the political parties are expected to have submitted, once we are interested in participating in this forthcoming election, all political parties are expected to have submitted their digital register to INEC before 21 days before the end of May. And the implication is that once you submit your digital register to INEC, it forecloses every possibility of registering any new entrant in your register. So what that implies is that if NDC, for instance, submit their register to INEC, and after the submission, Obi decide to join NDC, Obi cannot contest in NDC for the purpose of 2027 election.
Wow.
Because INEC would have been in possession of their digital register, and INEC is not ready to give you back to the register to register new members. So it means Obi have to wait in 2031 when there will be a window for party registration before he can register to contest. The only window left for Obi and co to be on the ballot is between now and 8 days. Once they mismanage this window, they will not be on the ballot. Because the way it's going, just like you said, from what you understand from what came from Ruben Abati, that Supreme Court can decide to reserve judgment for 3 months. You understand that the dispute involving the remand-led ESCO and of course
Nafi Balagombe,
that the Supreme Court have heard the application, but they say there is a judgment, and nobody will know when they will say the judgment is ready. And any judgment of this nature that is in abeyance is like a pregnant woman that have not done scan. So you don't know what the woman will give birth to. So you don't know whether it will go this way or go the other way. So if they decide to remain in ADC, and at the end of the day, it happened that the judgment did not go in their favor, they would have been trapped and they cannot contest. And what of this case this judgment that just came from a high court in Abuja, that they recognize the critical committee appointed by the remand-led ESCO. And we have seen a situation where even the remand-led ESCO at the national level have been ratified, consequent upon appointment of those critical committees at the state level. So by implication, what I'm saying is that even the remand-led ESCO may not be recognized at the end of the day. And there's no time to start challenging that judgment or to Supreme Court before you get whether they will get favorable judgment or not. So in the circumstance, it is of paramount importance, pertinent and germane, that the likes of Obi, if they want to be on the ballot, they must look beyond ADC.
Well, beyond the issue of litigation, from a very reliable source, because in the obedient camp, I have people give me intels. This guy has said that the ADC have jettisoned the idea of zoning. And for these reasons, Obi might have to jump ship. But I am of the opinion as well. We saw the Niger State ADC chairman who has sent a threat, just in line with Seyi Makinde did, that Nigeria will burn if ADC is not on the ballot by 2027. Pastor Matthew, do you sincerely think everyone will fall if ADC is not on the ballot?
It's not about somebody issuing threat. It's about now that you have a window of opportunity to make change, to have alternative. I think it's good they avail themselves of that window.
So you are telling me now that Tinubu has defeated them as far as is
for me, it is what is happening is like artificially inflicted. I say because we saw a Tinubu who recently told the Senate president, I said it the other day, you said it was a joke, but no matter how you look at it, the Bible says out of the abundance of the heart, they must speak it. Tinubu was telling Akpabio, I will send you to the other side to scatter them. He said they are confused. Before he knew it, Bajabi Amila, the chief of staff to the president, was addressing the senator from Kogi State, asking him that it is not necessary coming to APC. Stay in that place you are and do the good work you are doing. And this is somebody who is in ADC, and this is somebody who is challenging the remand-led ESCO in courts. What does that tell you? It tells you that they are clandestinely working to undermine ADC.
But
The
again,
problem, the reason we are not seeing trouble in Labour Party is perhaps those names are no longer in Labour Party. So for me, the reason we are seeing this much trouble in, of course, ADC because of the likes of Obi, Atiku and Co. So from what we are seeing, for me, if I were to advise, though I've seen Sam Amadi, who of course was the chairman of Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, who have advised Obi in this regard. That if you want to be on the ballot, this is the time.
Okay, now talking about Labour Party, I'm going to talk about Labour Party. Ask you a question about PRP and NDC. Labour Party, as it stands today, people are saying that Labour Party has been handed over to Alex Oti by Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and for this reason, even Dati Ahmed has come out to say that he's leaving. We all know that Dati Ahmed was in the last presidential election was a deputy to Peter Obi. Now, my question to you is this: if, according to the report, a Tinubu can grab Labour Party, throw ADC into disarray, kidnap PDP. So are you telling me that Serika Dixon, who hails from Bayelsa, because I know Serika Dixon is the one that owns NDC, how sure are we that Serika Dixon is not working for Wike, who by extension is Tinubu's boy? I mean, it's like a circle where these people don't know what they are facing.
For me, I think I will give it to Serika Dixon. I may be wrong, but for me, I think it's somebody I've seen that has a level of credibility.
Really?
Judging by his disposition in the Senate on national issues.
Okay.
I've seen him in the course of the amendment of the Data Act, standing against all odds, telling the powers that be that what they're doing is wrong. And he's a character that you rarely see in the Nigerian Senate.
But don't forget Adams Oshomole also does that.
No, what I'm saying is, in the face of what is happening, where a governor is even being whipped into line, you are seeing a former governor who, even in the course of mourning the death of the deputy governor of his state, that at the time they were amending that electoral act, he was not in the Senate, but he spoke loudly, telling Senate that this electoral act you want to amend, and you are telling the world that Nigeria do not have what it takes to transmit election result electronically. That he's a member of Senate Committee on Constitutional Review. That when they invited INEC, the INEC position was that we should amend the constitution, or rather the electoral act, to do electronic transfer compulsory anyway. That INEC already told us, or rather told them, that Nigeria had the facility to transmit the election result electronically. So for us to look at the power that be in the face and say this, and in addition to his disposition on national issues, I think I'll see him as somebody who stand out. That is the reason I'm saying that is a better destination for the likes of Obi.
Well, on a final note, Pastor Matthew, let's talk about the Igbo presidency. As far as we are concerned, Peter Obi is putting the Igbo presidency on the line. The North still insists that Obi has to work with them. And for that has to happen, ADC seems to be the vehicle where we can see that Atiku does not want to step down. He simply wants them to run alongside him as deputy. Then afterwards, he will then endorse them. But on the other end, which might seem like a longer, journey, APC. But the APC to an extent seems to be the sure path, because we cannot say categorically clear that Obi can defeat Tinubu. Because if we put it on a scale of balance today, we can say Tinubu, the odds are in his favor, right? If maybe he had manipulated them, whatever the case is, we know that as it stands today, as an incumbent, Tinubu is a favorite to win the election. Now, what beholds the Igbo presidency? Is it possible in the next 16 years?
Before I go to the Igbo presidency, let me answer the first leg of your question about where the North stand in relation to Obi's ambition. I will use this analogy to answer it. If you are in a journey in a vehicle, and midway into the journey, you have a fractured, maybe a punctured tire. You fix the tire. You go along with the journey, and your engine crash, and you see another vehicle that has the capacity to take you to the end of the journey. you don't stay in that joint in that very